In this episode of Get Real with Rajiv, I'm going to be answering questions around: is it ethical for an educator to make profit? What should a ninth grade student do to pursue and build a foundation for entrepreneurship? What should you do as a business to differentiate yourself from your competition? And finally, during these times of quarantine, what are those series and movies to watch on entrepreneurship so you stay focused and you stay positive? I look forward to seeing you in episode number 39 of Get Real with Rajiv. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 39 of Get Real with Rajiv. Like every single week, we're going to be answering 4 questions even in today's episode, and considering the lockdown continues, my wife Bhakti is going to be the voice of your questions. So Bhakti, what's the first question?
We have Jagjeet Reddy asking, I'm an educator. People say ethically education is not supposed to be profitable. Although I know it can add value, I feel a sense of guilt in making money from it. What should I do?
Well, Jagjeet, firstly, thank you so much for that question. And I completely understand and resonate with that dilemma that you're facing. But I want you to look at this, Jagjeet. Why shouldn't an educator make money? Why shouldn't an educator deserve more financial abundance? Does that mean that an educator has no right to have personal aspirations, has no right to have a good standard of living? I personally totally disagree to that philosophy. In fact, I feel that one of the reasons the standard of education system in India is very, very low because teaching is not a well-paid profession. And because teaching is not a well-paid profession, it does not attract that many capable and competent teachers. Having said that, I am not taking anything away from those teachers who've committed their life to serving humanity by being an educationist, and I salute those teachers who actually give their careers for 20, 30, 40 years selflessly giving back to society. But I definitely believe that if educators and teachers are paid more, then the quality of education will also increase. And having said that, I have a simple philosophy. The work that educators do, which is add value to people's lives, make a difference to people's lives, you can't put a price tag to it. So I personally believe that educators deserve to make money. Educators should make money because that's when that adds to the motivation level of what you are doing. So Jagjeet, my request to you would be leave that conditioning of the masses aside and genuinely value yourself. Because if you value your work, the world will value you more. That's the way the world works. So go out there guilt-free, charge ethically, and make ethical profits for the value that you add to people's lives. Don't give it to this mask hypnosis or conditioning, which only leads to more mediocre thinking. So disconnect with that kind of a thinking and upgrade your thought process and understand that if I'm making a difference, I deserve to gain that value for myself. That is my personal perspective, Jagjeet. I hope you're able to set yourself free from that guilt trap, because that's a very toxic trap to be in. With that, let's move to the second question. So Bhakti, what's the second question?
Banajit Deka asks, Sir, I'm reading in class 9 and I want to be an entrepreneur. What should I do from right now to be successful?
Well, Banajit, firstly, all I would do is this to you. Okay? You're in 9th grade and you're thinking about entrepreneurship. You should be super proud of yourself, my friend. And I say this to all those people who have pessimism for the future, that our future is in safe hands when we have students like Banajit who are thinking about entrepreneurship in age 9. So big salute to you firstly, Banajit. Secondly, to answer your question, what can you start doing in class 9? Well, I would ask you to develop skills, become multi-talented. Develop different skills, not just for business and entrepreneurship, but use the creative energies of your brain. Learn a couple of musical instruments, learn how to sing, learn some kind of martial arts, practice some kind of sport, read a lot of books around business, watch documentaries around business, and take opportunities of starting something from home as a 9-year-old. Get into coding, get into digital, as a 9th grade student, get into digital marketing. The world is your playground, Banajit. So now is your time for you to acquire different skills, acquire different capabilities. And the reason I'm giving you this advice is when you learn a new musical instrument, when you learn or play a particular sport, you tend to use more of your brain capacity, which makes you very, very smart and intelligent. And that's what you should do at this time. And alongside that, start reading a lot about entrepreneurship. Role models from entrepreneurs. study their childhood, study their psychology, watch documentaries, and get started with something. I mean, today with the internet and in the computer and digital age, it's easy for anybody to get started with anything. So get started with something, Banajit, because age is not a barrier. So I'm so glad that you asked me this question, and I want to say a big thank you to you for being that future that we all can be proud of, Banajit. Salute to you, my friend. With that, let's jump into question number 3 for this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv. Bhakti, what's the third question?
Sonal Agarwal asks, in a newly emerged market where I have very limited competition, only 2 more companies to be precise, how do I differentiate myself from them when all 3 of us have similar products? So should I differentiate by my design and R&D?
Okay, so Sonal, firstly, I would love to know which industry is this, which is a newly emerging market, because I'm always keen on exploring new business opportunities. Having said that, let me tell you this. Sonal, you should differentiate yourself based on what you think your customer will be willing to pay money for. So if you feel your customer will be willing to spend more money for a differentiated design, then you focus on differentiating yourself based on design. If you feel your customer will spend more money if you do more R&D, then you spend your time and energy in differentiating yourself based on R&D. I always say this to people, that differentiation needs to come from asking 2 questions. What is the unmet need of the existing products or services that are available? What is my customer's unmet need? So what are the existing products and services not fulfilling? That's called an unmet need. Apart from that, there could be another type of need which you need to ask yourself, what is an unspoken need of my customers? Sometimes our customers have a need, but they've not thought about it. They've not really identified it. So what's that unspoken need? So when you ask yourself this question of what could be an unmet need or an unspoken need, that's when you get direction of what kind of differentiator you need to add so that you stand out from the competition. I hope that makes sense. That's some brain work for you to do now, Sonal. With that, let's move to the 4th and final question for this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv. Bhakti, what's the 4th question?
Sumi asks, are there any must-watch movies or TV series on entrepreneurship to be seen during this quarantine time?
Well, I love that question, Sumi. So let me tell you some of my personal favorites. Hands down, my personal favorite is the Shark Tank series. I mean, if you haven't watched Shark Tank and you claim that you love entrepreneurship, then you don't love entrepreneurship. Shark Tank for sure. There are episodes of a lot of seasons of Shark Tank on Netflix. The latest season is on Amazon Prime. So definitely hands down Shark Tank. That show probably is the best show on the planet when it comes to education on entrepreneurship. So that would be a personal favorite I would recommend. Another one, if you want a little bit of masala and entertainment, is a series called Startup on Prime Video. They've already done 4 seasons. So that's like a drama which is based around startups. I just find that pretty entertaining. So Startup would be another series. Movies, again, the classics stay. If you're looking at Bollywood, then I love the movie Guru, where Abhishek Bachchan played the protagonist. Pursuit of Happiness, again, an all-time favorite of Will Smith. An amazing movie. Coach Carter, and again, an amazing movie to watch. Apart from that, let me think. I personally love understanding global economy. I personally love understanding, watching a lot of documentaries as well. So documentaries like Bikram Yoga, Fire Festival, all of these teach you what not to be in entrepreneurship. So watch them as well. Another series I would recommend would be this documentary series called The Giant Beast of Global Economy. That's on Prime Video as well. So these are some of my favorites. That's a lot of watching to do. So Sumi, enjoy all of these during this quarantine times. So with that, we come to the end of episode number 39 of Get Real with Rajiv. It's now time for us to pick the question of the week, who will receive a copy of my book Lead or Bleed for asking the best question. So this week we need to pick a winner. Bhakti, I want you to indicate from the back which question do you think deserves to win. Well, I agree to Bhakti's option. This week's winner is going to be Banajit Deka, for nothing else but for the fact that in 9th grade you're thinking about entrepreneurship, Banajit. That truly inspires me. So my team is going to reach out to you, get your address, get your details, and And once the lockdown opens, they will courier a copy of my book, Lead or Bleed, for you to read. Thank you so much, Banajit, for being an inspiration. And with that, we come to the end of episode number 39, which means now those of you watching, you have some work to do. Here's the first thing you need to do. You need to, in the comment section below or on this WhatsApp number, send in your questions regarding business, money, team, relationships, sales. Send in your questions. And the second thing you need to do is you need to click the button share so that more people get this knowledge of Get Real with Rajiv. So with that, this is Rajiv Talreja signing off. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.